This channel is going to get a new kind of focus this year. I'm going to be talking a little bit about this baby today. I just think it's so cute. I am sitting right in the sun. It was so cold and so grey the last few days that I am just so happy. And I can see it go down behind the building, so in a minute I won't have any light anymore. But welcome back to my channel. It's been a minute since I was here because of just lots of stuff happening right at the beginning of the year. I didn't have any inspiration for YouTube videos for a good few weeks, what with Christmas and everything, and I need to start really just getting back into it. And I was looking at the comments from the last videos about film photography and about my camera and different stuff, and I figured that I just need to kind of respond to some of the comments in future videos, talk about what you guys want to hear. So welcome back to my channel. If you don't already know who I am, I'm Christina. I'm a photographer in Berlin and I'm from the UK, also German. And I've been living in Berlin for almost 7 years and I'm a wedding photographer. Over the years, I used to do music on this channel. So this channel is going to get a new kind of focus this year. I'm really just going to focus on my videos about photography, and I'm gonna upload vlogs because I don't want to stop doing that, even though they get like hardly any views. I don't care if my mum watches it, if my grandma watches it, then I'm happy. Now, if you have been a subscriber since the early days and you're like, where is the music? Where are the videos of me singing? Then that is now on a second channel, which is Christina Watkins Music. You can find it in the featured channels on my channel and go and subscribe there. And occasionally I will be uploading covers and stuff to do with music. So I'm not completely stopping singing, but this channel is definitely now just my photography channel. So welcome if you haven't been here before. Today I am actually just going to talk a little bit about a very cute little camera that I have been loving to use. I realize now it's still very bright and I do apologize for that, but honestly, what am I supposed to do? It's gonna be gone in like 2 minutes. Yeah, I'm gonna be talking a little bit about this baby today. This is the Canon SureShot 60 zoom camera. It is super simple. It is a basic little pocket-sized camera. It fits in my coat pocket, it fits in my bum bag, and it's just super fun to have with you on holiday when you don't feel like taking a huge camera with you, because my Minolta, for example, is quite a big camera and then I don't feel like always taking it with me. But this is perfect for parties, birthdays, holidays when you don't feel like taking more. So I actually brought this with me on my last trip when I went to the south of Germany. I went to Constance after Christmas. I bought a film in Constance, which I was super happy that they had film in this shop in Constance. I think they were called Lichtblick, and it was a really cool shop. They had amazing stuff there, like all these analog cameras, really, really cool. So I picked one up as soon as I arrived at the station. I think I picked up a Fujifilm Superia X... what's it called? Fujifilm Superia Extra 400. Like you can hear, has a 400 ISO on the film, and it was really, really good to have with me when I went to see my grandma and when we took a walk around the lake. And obviously, like in Constance, there's these amazing views. You have the views of all the mountains in Switzerland. It's just beautiful. And I wanted to bring my Minolta, but for some reason I only had one battery left on my Minolta and then I couldn't use it. So I want to just go through the different films that I've shot on this camera over the years. There are 3 in particular now that I think are really, really nice. So we have the film from just now from Constance and from New Year's Eve. And then we have the film that I took, which was probably a Kodak Gold, but it's a while ago, so I can't really remember. It was from Italy in 2019. And then we go even way back. The first one that I took that I really enjoyed with this camera was in 2018 when I went to Brighton. And those photos also are still some of my favorite ones that I've ever taken, and they were with this thing. Let's have a little look at the camera. So it is fully automatic. It makes amazing sounds. I just think it's so cute the way it does this noise. But honestly, so I tried using it at a wedding once, my uncle's wedding, and it made too much noise. So when you take a picture, it's quite loud. So my other uncle was sat next to me and he was like, psh, I did it during the vows. And it was so loud, it was so embarrassing. I learned from my mistakes and I tried to find cameras that are quiet. It has a self timer, so we have a little self timer here. We have a flash setting, we have an off flash setting, and then I don't even know, this is probably iFocus auto and this is just normal auto. I honestly can't tell the difference. You can open it and you can see that it's just your typical 35mm film goes in here, and it's just also a thing down here to rewind it yourself manually if it doesn't work, like if the mechanism stops working. But this thing, I mean, you can see as well, it's super scratched and it's just like been through it. It's totally fine. And it has a little flash, which doesn't get you very far, but does also help in certain situations. And there is a zoom. So you can press here and then you can zoom in and out, which is quite good. So you have 60, 52, 45, and 38. I think one of the biggest differences for these films is definitely like, if you shoot without flash indoors, it can easily become blurry. But let's go through the Brighton photos first. So the first photo I'm showing you, this was at sundown in the garden where my parents live. You can see the quality of the camera as soon as it starts getting to nighttime is a little bit more grainy, and it's a little bit, I think I also already used flash on this photo. You can see the Coke bottle and stuff on the table is quite reflective, so I think I used flash. And you can see it's not like a huge great quality, but it does have this sort of nostalgic feel to it. This is funny because you can see here the difference. So we're in the shops in Brighton here, so this is my friend, and I took a photo of her in the thrift store, and because I was probably moving and she was probably moving and we were indoors, it was daytime but we were indoors, the camera can't really deal with that, so you have to stay completely still, or your subject has to stay completely still, so that the shutter speed is horrible as soon as you go inside. I need to start writing down what film I'm using for each film because I always forget. But I think it must have been Kodak. I think I used to shoot on Kodak a lot. So then we have this photo of me in a different store in Brighton where I was standing right by the door, so you can already see the impact that daylight has on this camera. So yeah, this camera is definitely meant for like more outdoorsy stuff. I love this picture. But you can see already it's already slightly overexposed because we were right by the door. But this was not with flash either, so it really, and I was also kind of standing still, and so was Karis, who was taking the photos. So I think it really just depends what the movement in the picture is like as well. And then we go outside in Brighton, and you have, oh, I love this picture. I don't know what it is. There's something about this picture that just makes me like feel like I'm looking at a movie or something. There's just some kind of, there's like a full-on retro vibe going on here. No, there's something sort of 70s about it. You can see already full sunlight is our best friend with this camera. And I was also standing still. I mean, there's some movement in the people, but also not too much. So you can see that this camera is pretty good for this sort of street photography. And then same thing again, where we have Karis standing there still. The movement is also, like, of the other people is also like fine. Like the camera has a fast, I think it has a fast shutter speed, but it just decides automatically which one to give you. And then we go to the beach, and these are some of my favorite shots that I have ever taken on this camera. We have the old Brighton Pier over in the back, and I mean, if you zoom into the picture, yes, okay, you have like quite grainy, but also that's probably because of the development. I don't know, I think I got it developed at Jessop's in the UK. You know, there's not a lot of detail, but that's not the point of this camera anyway. This camera is more for having like your memories on film. And then the next photo is just so fun. I absolutely love this photo. There's so much going on. I love the composition of this photo, and I'm really proud of this photo. So that is also the same film, the same camera, but it was also obviously also like a still moment, you know, nobody's really moving, I'm not moving, and it's outside. So that is your proof that, yeah, this camera really enjoys stillness. And then again, you can see here, this last photo of me in the mirror from that same week was blurry because there wasn't enough light. So it's really crazy how this camera just doesn't like the indoors as much. But it also likes to be still, like I said. So then let's go to this next photo. This must have been during lockdown. This is another really good example of, I mean, I love the backlighting in this photo, and obviously there's no reflection. This was just more of like an experimental photo. My eyes are not lit up very well because there was nothing to light them up. There was nothing reflecting into my eyes, but because the camera is on the balcony, I used the self timer. There's no problem, there's no movement, which is totally fine. Yeah, we have another one from lockdown as well, from outside. So outside is always really, really good. I don't know which film this was. I honestly can't remember. It was probably Kodak again, or maybe it was Fuji. It might have been Fuji actually. And then we also have this one of Tempelhof, which goes to show that this camera likes sunshine. This camera likes bright places, because even if the sky is super gray, I feel like it just immediately dulls the images and doesn't give you any kind of contrast. So this is the Tempelhof airport in Berlin, and I love this picture. I only found this again earlier. I was like, this is so cool, but it's really not like that great in terms of the film. Let's have a look at Italy, because again, you can see that daylight works really well. So we have this picture of this town here for like events and stuff. It's actually quite good. And then like the interesting thing is like the contrast between like how it looks when I take a close-up photo of someone sitting down being still, and how it looks when I take a picture when I was clearly walking, right, of the houses in the hill, where I was clearly walking and moving, and then I'm in front of my auntie and my cousin, and boom, there's like no movement, and it looks like a super sharp, crisp image. I freaking love this photo. And same goes here when we're in the pool, in the garden, like everything is really nicely lit, like your typical holiday photos. And then as soon as the sun started going down, it doesn't give you a lot of contrast with the sky. I feel like, I don't think I actually took a photo of the actual sunset on one of the nights, but it was so beautiful. I think I'd run out of film by that point. But I think even in this photo that I'm showing you now with the view of the pool at dusk, I don't think the sky was actually that boring. I think it was more, there was more to see than what you can see here. You can't expose this camera very well. Like you're relying on what film you have in the camera, right? So you can't really expose the sky or the shadows, or lift the shadows, or open aperture or anything like that. So yeah, daylight is just our best friend with this camera for sure. And then again, we have a cloudy day when we were in La Mora, which again is like, it's nice, but it's not as nice as if then you carry on to houses in sunshine, like on the street that we stayed in. So, and then we just have a few more from when we were in, dang, I can't remember the name of the town. That's going to annoy me. These portraits were also quite nice, but then again, we were already in shade, so flash could have already been used here. So then we have a few more of La Mora from the top of the mountain, and you can see that it doesn't pick up that many of the details. It was quite a foggy, musty is the wrong word. It was quite a foggy day. You couldn't see all of the hills in the distance. And I mean, yeah, like with people in the front and stuff, with closer up shots, it was okay with everyone walking down the hill. But as soon as you go into the distance, you don't have that crispness that you might want to have for landscape photos. So this is definitely like your typical holiday camera, but it does create some really, really sweet images as well. And then the last ones that I want to show you are the photos from Constance and from New Year's Eve last year, because again, I mean, it wasn't really very sunny in Constance. Me at the pier, right? You can see the mountains in the background, but it's also not fabulously exposed. And I'm also a little bit in the dark, but that's just because it was a grey day. So same thing again. Then when you only have the mountains and you only have the pier to focus on, there's definitely more contrast than if you have a subject in the foreground like I was in that photo. And then I don't know what happened here, but this photo turned out really good, and I don't know how I made it look so good. I think I zoomed in a little bit more onto the mountains, and then all the clouds were like super dark. I had something in the foreground to create a frame, to create depth as well, and I wish I knew what mountain that was because it looks so nice. I was standing there for ages going, I don't want to leave, I don't want to leave, I don't want to leave. So those, and then we go to when we took a walk around Lake Constance when it was sunny, and I mean this photo of me is terrible, but you get the idea that with sunshine it's a lot better again. But this now from Constance is the Fuji Superia. Why can't I remember the name of this film? Like, it's really annoying. Fujifilm Superia Extra 400. So this is obviously also, Fuji has a completely different color. Like if I was to use Kodak in Constance, it would look very different. The greens are different, the blues are different. It's all a little bit more on the cool side. Yeah, so then we have a few more pictures of the view from that part of the lake where we were. And as again, you can see the background, the mountains, you can't really tell that they're there, unfortunately. But yeah, also I was really far away, so I used a full-on zoom on this picture. And yeah, you can definitely see that it was all the way zoomed in. This camera is not meant for landscape. It's not meant for, like, even though it says that it's 60 millimeters doesn't really do anything in this scenario. And then we have a few more photos of the town. For example, this one in the church again. I mean, it turned out to be a really, really cool photo. And I did use my phone underneath the camera to try and create a reflection, but it still is wobbly. In this case, it's fine because it just makes a really cool bokeh, but it's still wobbly because we're in a kind of dark church. Also, this photo, which I absolutely love, turned out so cool, but it was a complete accident. Like a happy little accident, like Bob Ross always says. Of the Christmas tree in the town centre, which was a total accident. I probably just moved too much. Maybe I tried to move? I don't think I did. I don't know. I think I wanted it to be a still image, but you can definitely see that I was holding the camera and I probably just did this to, and then it ended up creating this light drag, which is fine. It looks really, really cool, but it was a total accident. And then you see here when I was standing completely still, took a photo of this pharmacy, then the light looks good, but it's still also a little bit risky to do so. And then as soon as you're moving and walking, like this picture of the lights across the road, it's just blurry. And then we have a couple more pictures from New Year's Eve. You can see here the difference between a selfie with no flash and a selfie with flash, which is absolutely hilarious. The no flash one is so creepy, but it just goes to show that you need flash with these sorts of things. And I don't know, the fireworks turned out pretty good, and that was without flash. You can see the flash doesn't really do anything for like trying to get loads of people in the shot. So it really depends on what you're photographing, where you are, what film you have, because also the last one of New Year's Eve, that was a 400 as well, so 200 wouldn't have done it at all. But I just really, really like this camera, and I hope that this video helps you to see how you should be using this camera if you have it. Comment down below, because I've never met anyone else who has this camera, so that would be really exciting. And let me know how you are using it, what film you're using, and then as always let me know what else you want to hear from me. What should I take photos of? What should I compare? Which films should I compare? And I'd love to hear from you guys. Don't forget to like this video and comment down below and subscribe, and also turn on notifications so that you don't miss a future video. And I just want to say thank you for watching this far, and thank you for sticking around even though I haven't been very consistent since Christmas. And I will see you in the next video.